So on 3E, what I'm going to do is I am going to be working out this x minus 2 squared, which is going to be a perfect square trinomial. X squared minus 4x plus 4 minus 17 is equal to 3x minus 8. I'm going to distribute the 3 and get a 3x squared minus 12x plus 12 minus 17 is equal to 3x minus 8. Get everything on one side, 0 on the other side, so I'm going to have a 3x squared. I'm going to minus 3x, so that's going to be a negative 15x. Now, this here is going to end up being a negative 5. And then I'm going to add the 8 to get it to the other side. So a negative 5 plus 8 is going to be a positive 3. And I noticed that I could divide everything by 3. I can divide this by 3, this by 3, this by 3, and the 0 by 3. And I get x squared minus 5x plus 1. And that's not going to be factorable, so I have to use quadratic formula. So that is going to be negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So I am going to end up getting x is equal to, negative b means make your b opposite, so that's going to be a 5, plus or minus the square root of my b squared, so that's going to be a negative 5 squared, which is going to be a 25, minus 4 times my a, which is 1, and my c, which is 1, all over 2 times my a, which is 1. So I'm going to get x is equal to 5 plus or minus 25 minus 4, so I'm going to get the square root of 21 over 2, and that's your answer. So on 5b, they want us to convert this to graphing form, and what you want to notice is you have an x squared and a y squared, which means this is going to be a circle. There's other graphs that have that also, but the only one we have learned is a circle. So I'm going to get my x's together. So I'm going to have x squared minus 2x. It's going to be plus something. I'm going to leave a space there. I'm going to have a y squared plus 10y plus something. And equals a negative 4. So this is going to be x squared minus 2x, and when I complete the square, half of negative 2 is negative 1. Negative 1 squared is 1, so I'm going to add 1 here. That means I also have added to the other side. Here with my 10y, half of 10 is 5. 5 squared is 25, so I'm completing the square twice. I had a negative 4. Remember, I added the 1. I added the 25. So I'm going to add 1 and 25. So really, I'm going to add a 26. This is going to be x minus 1 squared. The other one's going to be y plus 5 squared. And then negative 4 plus 26 is a 22. And that is the graphing form of a circle. So on number 8, if I want to decide if this is even or odd, what I'm going to do is put in a negative x. I'm going to see what happens. So I'm going to have 8 over negative x raised to the 5th. That's an exponent there. And negative x to the 3rd minus 5 times negative x to the 7th. Now, on top, when I raise a negative to an odd power, I get a negative. So this is going to be a negative 8x to the 5th. On bottom, I'm going to have a negative x to the 3rd, which is going to end up being a negative x to the 3rd. Okay, the amount is going to be negative. For the next one, when I take a negative x to the 7th, that's going to become a negative x to the 7th times the negative 5. That's going to become a positive 5x to the 7th. So what you want to pay attention to is see if this is the same as this or opposite of this or neither. It's hard to see it in this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to rewrite this. I'm going to factor on a negative from bottom. So that means this is an x cubed minus 5x to the 7th with a negative in front. And a negative over a negative becomes a positive. And so this is really 8x to the 5th over x to the 3rd minus 5x to the 7th, which is the same as this. So this is even. On 9, we're trying to find x and y intercepts. So on that one, what we're going to do is for our x-intercept, you're going to put 0 in for y. So that would be 0 is equal to 2x squared minus 9x minus 18 over 5x minus 7. Now, what we're going to do in this case is really, in order for this to become 0, what needs to happen is my numerator has to be 0, okay? You can really think of this as putting it over 1, cross multiply, so 0 times 5x minus 7 is 0. And then 1 times 2x squared minus 9x minus 18 is 2x squared minus 9x minus 18. But again, really it boils down to the numerator becoming a 0. The denominator being a 0 would be undefined. So I'm going to see if I can factor this. And when I factor it, let's see. Trying to get a negative 9 with a negative 18. So I could be doing a 1 and an 18, a 2 and a 9, a 3 and a 6. I'm trying to get a 9. So I'm just going to kind of look here at the math. I'm thinking that I want a 6 here and a 3 here. Reason I'm thinking that is this is going to give me 12. This is going to give me 3. And 12 minus 3 is a 9. I'm going to want my 12 to be negative. So that'll be the negative, and then this is going to be positive. So I end up getting x is equal to a negative 3/2 and x is equal to 6. Those are my x-intercepts. Now, when I'm trying to find my y-intercept, I'm going to put 0 in for the x. Okay, so to find my y-intercept, put 0 in for my x. So 2 times 0 squared, that's going to be gone. Minus 9 times 0, that's going to be gone. So I'm going to be left with negative 18. On the bottom, 5 times 0, that's going to be gone, minus 7. So when I clean this up, my y-intercept's going to be on top. I get a negative 18. On bottom, I get a negative 7. So it's going to be 18/7, and that's my y-intercept.